Explain how you were trying to build your case against President Nixon and what you were facing as a Republican.
Well, it's hard to reflect back now to see the kind of turmoil the country was in at that point. This had really never been done before. There was one prior impeachment proceeding, and that was against Andrew Johnson, and it failed. And so it was a very emotional issue for most people. Number one, trying to define what an impeachable offense was. As the phrase is high crimes and misdemeanors. What did that mean? Did it mean you had to have a criminal act? Did it mean that you could have a political judgment? How did it define it, and what was the burden of proof? Was it beyond a reasonable doubt, preponderance of the evidence, clear and convincing? So we had all of those issues to deal with at a time when the country was really quite split. And it was an emotional time because there were things going on. There was a potential war in the Middle East. There were things taking place in the world in which President Nixon was regarded as a serious figure in the world, especially in foreign affairs. And for us at that point to be questioning whether he should be removed or recommending he should be removed from office. There were tensions certainly in this city. There were bomb threats. I remember one night there was a bomb threat before our committee started, and I ended up in the Longworth building on the lower level with historian Theodore White. He and I spent an hour or two together just talking about various issues that night while they were clearing out the building to see if there was a bomb there. So there were death threats taking place. My own family had received some. And so it was a tough time, and the country was really in doubt as to whether we should be going through this process and whether it was really partisan in nature, whether Democrats were out to get President Nixon, whether other presidents had acted the same fashion, whether they had taped individuals, whether they had gained wealth during their presidency, et cetera. So those are issues that were hard fought behind closed doors, and they were out in the public, and I certainly was getting a lot of heat from my supporters back home. I had many people write to me, I'd say thousands of people write to me and say they'd never support me again, that I was a traitor for even questioning the president on this issue. So I frankly was not prepared. I was preparing to lose my seat. That was the determination. I said, well, so be it. That's not why I came, to simply get reelected. So whatever the facts are, I'll go with the facts. And if I'm convinced there's not sufficient evidence to propose to the House of Representatives that the president be impeached, then that's what I'll do.